What's up, Profit Seekers, Blockchain, Bitsgap Brigade? How y'all doing today? I'm coming at you from the wider crypto market, and just gonna go over a little bit, give some tips about Bitsgap and some ways that I'm thinking and all that good stuff. And we can talk about buying the dip on multiple levels and all that good stuff. So, starting here at CoinMarketCap. What I like to do, if you know this, if you've been with me for a while, is I get all the coins that I'm really interested in, and I get them in a list here, right? And then I come over. The reason CoinMarketCap is good, I do this on Mazari, I do this on CoinGecko and a few others, but the CoinMarketCap works good for this particular thing because of the way they do these 7-day here. So if you click on this 7-day, right, that will tell you what's doing good. AXPR, I'm sure glad that's doing good because I made a video about it. So you like to call things correctly, and a lot of people in my group made some pretty good profit on this, and I really love seeing that. But if you come over here and click on the 7-day and go to the bottom, you'll see all the pain, right? And you'll see the things that are down, and these are all the things, cryptos I'm interested in. And they all have a very similar chart, which shows that, a lot of that's market manipulation. And you're looking over here to the right, and when you see things that have a different shape, that might be something you want to be interested in looking in. See, this is quite a different shape than the rest of them, right? Down 94%. I had a few $1,000 investment in Bridge Oracle turn into a couple $100 investments. Terrible, painful, disgusting. And for a couple $100 just now, I doubled my entire bag, right? So lowered my entry on everything. And on Trios, I picked up a little bit of that, some Umbrella. Who is down 77%. Now, there's one thing with this whole list, right? You want to make sure that there wasn't some irregular pump, right? So if something pumped in a large way, like this here, this video coin, we click on that chart, and something pumped along this line and went up and then came down right here, and it did this move from this top to this bottom in 7 days, then that chart really didn't mean too much. So you don't want to come and take a bigger look because, it is down, yes, or that 30%, but it had just been manipulated up, and maybe that's not the correct action, and you need to look for a floor that's, more reasonable, or, that has other points of support of historical correction, right? So there is that. You want to make sure that it isn't coming down from some sort of pump and it's just shedding. You want to get out of it while it's shedding. And what I'm talking about is for ones that are, that didn't go through that. So anyway, click on the ones and look. And a lot of this depends on what's your point in the market, right? So a lot of what people do is when markets are correcting, when you have this type of opportunity, and that is what I consider this life-changing opportunity. I mean, I am a huge believer in this Trios project. It's down 68%. That's time to buy for me. That's time to get in. And, I was wanting that coin to be lower just not long ago, right? So why wouldn't I want to get in on that? So anyway, with the blue chips like your top, your top 20, top 30 coins, a lot of people, when the market's dumping, they move into the blue chips. They wait from the dip, or they get out of the super speculative coins and they get into the blue chips because the blue chips are likely to fall a lot less and rebound a lot quicker. But again, I like to buy what's down and buy Bitcoin and buy on multiple time frames during the dip, kind of like this guy. Look at this article here. This dude here, Crypto Whale, nice picture, right? Big bunch of Bitcoin falling out of a wallet, and that wallet's the head of the whale. Pretty great. And this Crypto Whale sold 3K BTC at 58K. Now, when he bought that, did he think it was going to go down? No, he bought it for the long term. He's holding it for, to 100K. But he saw this huge opportunity, saw the manipulation going in, maybe got a little insider tip, whatever, dropped that Bitcoin, that 58K, that 58,000 Bitcoin, or excuse me, at 58K, the 3,000 Bitcoin, and bought back 3,521 Bitcoin. So by doing nothing but timing the market, he earned 521 Bitcoin. Of course, he did take the risk, right? I mean, that's risk. And he took that risk and he was rewarded for it because he saw the opportunity to enter the market lower, right? To secure a lower entry. And that's basically what I'm talking about here is we want to secure as low entries we can in market in cryptos we believe in. Now, whole different strategy for cash. This is more of the crypto approach, right? Is what I'm talking about here. So we want to take the approach that whale takes, where he is buying the lowest, because in the long run, that's really going to help you. So let's head over to Bitsgap. We're looking at Bitsgap here. Here's the bots I currently have open and running, and see how this CTI ETH is down 2.47% on this change number. I don't care about this change number right now. I just care about these numbers. I'm looking to gather more crypto at whatever price that I can get it. Now, just the way that I, doubled my bridge bag and lowered my entry, DCAing is dollar cost averaging at a lower price. When you see a lower price, you can get in cheaper. And if you're looking to get in cheaper on the, on cryptos you believe in, Tron, Matic, can't go wrong with like your better coins, because in the long range, these things are really going to, if you believe in the project, then you should. The fundamentals of the market really haven't changed, right? Fundamentals of the market are pretty much the same. All we have is a bunch of manipulation. So if you've secured a lower entry, is that necessarily such a bad thing? Let's come over here to this high-powered blockchain. I do believe in that project. I think it's a fantastic project. I think it's going to kill it in the DeFi. They got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm not here to talk about that project in specific, but see how this bot has come out of range here. So let's click on that. I'm down 5.53% of when I put this in. I've had this crypto for a long time, so this number is irrelevant to me. I don't care. I just want more HPB. I want more Bitcoin as it flows around. I want it to, to make these daily profits. 1.33%. It's got me $88 of Bitcoin. That money is over here in this 845. Fantastic. Now I can use that to buy more coins that are cheap. And that's why I want to keep the bots trading, because now it's earning me Bitcoin, more Bitcoin at this lower price. And now this $800 of Bitcoin, you think that's going to stay 800? No. When the market goes up, this is going to be worth a lot more. Do I want that to happen? Hell yeah, I want that to happen. Now, look at this market. All this red represents HPB. It represents risk. It represents exposure to the market. Now, if you came in right now and bought into this with cash, anything that you have up here represents large amounts of risk. Anything you have down here represents your base currency, right? And you can drop the price. Now, if I never wanted to come and reset these bots, I didn't want to deal with that at all. I could set this huge range. I could put this at like 4% grid gap. I could drop that down, and I could try to get myself, I could bring this candle out to the 4 hour, and I can make sure I have the entire market encompassed. Now, no matter what happens ever, right? No matter what happens at any point in time, I'm covered. If the thing goes way up here, I've got money that's trading. If it comes way down here, I've got money that's trading. But what we've learned with Bitsgap is that you focus your liquidity into a much smaller range where all the action's happening, you will earn a much bigger number here. This number will be a lot bigger. I compare it a lot to version 3 of Uniswap, where you can focus your liquidity down into little teeny percentages. It costs you more to do it, but you earn a lot more in profit. And you're not covering this full range, and you don't have this money out here doing nothing, just sitting there for long periods of time. Now, when you bought in here, the money that you left up here was your opportunity to buy at this price and sell at a higher price, right? And if the market dips, this down here represents your ability to buy the dip. Now, if we focus this in, like I said, on the liquidity provision for version 3 of Uniswap, the only difference of the real thing is that you can focus your liquidity down like this and stay in the trades. Now, sometimes it's going to come up here and you'll be out of the action. You're not making anything. But when it drops back down into your range of where you set your liquidity, you're back to earning, right? So that's similar to what we're doing here. Now, instead of putting it way right here, way up here, and way down here on what I call a hodl bot, meaning you want to walk away. You don't want to deal with this. You just want to earn on its own. You're happy with the smaller percentages because you don't want to handle it. You don't want to worry and stress about this number. You don't want to stress about these numbers in here. Okay. So we can focus our liquidity, right? Now, say the price drops way down like it has on my bot here, right? I think we can, if we click off it and then click on it, it should go back to the reality. Okay, here's the reality. And it's dropped way out of range. Do I want in on that action? That's what I have to decide. And for me, the answer is definitely yes. Am I willing to get rid of some of this ones that I was going to take a little loss on this and bring it down here? Yes, and for a couple reasons. One, I now have lowered my overall entry, right? I'm securing a lower entry by taking this and buying lower. And if I take some of the Bitcoin and I drop it down here anytime, because I think this is going to drop or it's going to dip, all of this represents a lower opportunity. It is very similar to what this guy did when he bought it at 58K. He didn't want to sell it for less, right? But he did, and he bought it back in and he got more. And when this market waits it out and this goes up, we all know this is going to be a smart move, right? This is very similar to what we could do here. Bitsgap is a buying the dip on multiple time frame machines. Now, if you want the opportunity of focusing this liquidity like we do, you're going to have to be okay with resetting this bot sometimes. And you can look at it as you're taking a loss, or you can look at it as you're focusing your liquidity and you're getting a better entry. And if you believe in the projects and if you're in the better projects, that really helps, right? Now, as far as getting red here is completely natural, right? You almost want it to happen, especially if you came in with cash. You came in with cash at this point right here, and you bought this bot, right? And all this represented red. Now, if you didn't want to have exposure to the market and you really don't like this number getting red here, one thing that you can do is you can bring this down here, you can bring that down there, and you can take this all the way down and have no exposure to the market, and you'll only buy the dip and you'll only sell it if you first bought it at a lower price. If you're coming in with cash, not a bad way to go. And I'll remind you that with the cash bots, you can come in here, you can modify this, you can change your stop loss, you can grab your stop loss and move it around however you want, and not affect the bot, not have to turn the bot off. It's very handy. So if something's going on here, right? That's a strange candle. That's some sort of price, some sort of oddness from the exchange or something reading weird in the API keys. Don't worry about anomalies like that. So I'm going to secure a lower position in this bot, and to do that, I will have to sell some of my HPB. So not really what I want to do, but that's what I'm going to do because I want to buy this if it goes lower, and I think it's got a lot of opportunity to go lower. So I'm going to get in on that. I'm going to back test this bot really quick. 336, not bad. I actually think I might want to do the classic on this one. And adjust that around to this thing. Lower price. I do want to buy the dip, so I'm going to get rid of some. And here's one way you can do this. Watch this. If you go to your history. Oh, well, I guess we got to close the bot first, don't we? I thought I did that. Close the bot. Okay. We're going to close this bot. We're going to keep all of my money. Now, the time when I use this function where it says close the bot and it says sell at the market price, I use that often if I am flipping cash, like doing cash bots and going from one cash bot to another cash bot. That's a time I use that. And I also go in and sell any of the extra crypto that it held, unless you wanted to hold that back. Now, one thing you can do, you can come in here to your spot history, click on the bot. It will grab all of your readings and then go back to spot bots. So it keeps all of your readings here. Now, all I'm going to do here is lower. Well, that got weird, didn't it? Okay, now it's talking to us. Gonna focus it in here. So one way you can look at it is rearranging these bots is that you really did want this grid down here, but you wanted to focus your liquidity, and that's what I was trying to express there. So I do want to buy this if it goes down, and I think Bitcoin is going to go up before other things go up, so it will have an opportunity to come in and buy this, right? And that's your difference between your cash versus crypto approaches. Your cash, I use the stop losses, and I try not to have much exposure to the market. I do something like that, and I don't let, maybe I have just that much exposure to buy one, and I let it fluctuate, but primarily ready to buy the dip. So this number being red, I don't care if I've already held the crypto and if it's good projects. So if you got into a Bitcoin Matic bot and this went down, Bitcoin and Matic are like two of the best projects out there. Don't worry about it, Don't worry about this price going down. Just worry about gathering more and gathering more. And the other thing with resetting these bots is often when you reset the bots, you have a quick uptake, right? Like look at this. In 12 hours, it made 6% on Trios because it ranged so far down. It's got like all of its energy compiled in a tight little range and it's ready to pop. And same thing with, all of these that I reset. So you have 4% in one day, 5% in one day, 3% for 2 days in a row. So, not bad. So if I took a 10% loss by doing this, very often I earn that back in a couple days. And now I've secured a lower entry, right? And with that lower entry, the chances of making more money shortly are greatly increased, right? And that's buying the dip on multiple time frames. Okay. Something else you could do. Do I have any indicators here? Okay, something else you could do is you can use a couple indicators really quick. You can use the EMA cross is a good one. That's one I like quite a bit. And there's a lot of different indicators that you can use, but let's come in here with this EMA cross. Need to change the settings just a little bit. Style, let's take this red and make it, they're always backwards, so I'll make it greenish, make it thick, and we'll come with the green, make it red, or let's go for hot pink, and we'll make that stop that. And one more. Let us grab the money flow index. Very similar to RSI, except for extremely more accurate because it includes volume. So it's more of a leading indicator versus the RSI was more of a lagging indicator. There we go. Okay. So see how this is down here? That's undersold, right? It's up here, or excuse me, it's overbought if it's up here, it's undersold if it's down here. If it's down here, however, that could be where the most dramatic drifts come from. So a good place to set a bot is if it's here or it's here and you have some sort of divergence in your signals, right? So like, look here, red on top means going down. Green on top means going up, right? So you'll see a lot of red on top right now because it's done nothing but go down. And these little teeny sections where it's gone up, anytime you see a divergence in this where, I don't want to give a big money flow class, but if it's in this range right here, good time to set a bot. Also down here is often a good time to set a bot. There you go. And often it depends on where it came from. If it came from above here and came down into this zone, that's not a good time to set a bot. But if it came from below and came up into this zone, which is above this 50 line, that's a great time to set a bot. You're not likely to get any red here if you set a bot as soon as it popped up and into this zone and the red, green line was on top, right? So red line on top, it's going down. Green line on top, it's going up. And then so really what I'm looking for is divergence, right? When this says one thing and this says something else, it means something's about to change. We can get more into that later, but I didn't want to really give a big class on that. But this number here, my whole point is, don't worry about it. This really represents more opportunity. It represents the fact that you bought the dip even more, right? And if you believe in the projects, that's great. So when it comes down, it starts buying up this lines and it's red, that's good. I actually want this to be red at first, unless it's a cash bot. But especially if it's a crypto bot and I just set it up with cash or just set up with fresh Bitcoin, I want this to go down because that means I bought deeper into the dip, right? I thought it was dipping. I thought it was a good price. I entered, but then it even went down further. It means I've secured a better entry. Do not worry about this number unless you're in unless it's a cash bot. Now, if it's cash bot, then this number is important. We're going to go over very soon. I'll be showing you a strategy that has been like 5 to 10% a day, all in cash. We're using stop losses. We're getting into risky things, and we're getting out of the bad ones and letting the winners run. And we'll go over that later. But okay, so we did the going out of range, and we're resetting this bot. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm kind of like where that is looking. 1.17, 15 grids. That's just fine. Like I said, if I didn't want to deal with this, I spread these way out. I spread these out and I don't focus this down the way we focus it. All right, back test. 364. Not bad. 850. Did we get on the classic? No, let's get us on the classic here. And we're peaking up from the bottom, so I should have a nice little bump up. Get that focused down a little bit. Maybe 115, that's not bad. 0.67 in 3 days, not looking good. Want to be able to buy that dip for sure, because I think it could still go down. 0.57 is terrible. Trailing up feature. Nothing too special. Back down in this range. Back to that. A little bit better. 4%. How's that looking? I might like a little buy. I might be able to buy cheaper, and I want to buy cheaper if I could buy cheaper. 26 grids, 1% spacing, getting us into 4.11. I'll take it. Got the trailing up on. We're using all of our liquidity. Let's rock this thing. Okay, start. Do you want it is necessary to buy HPB? Do you want to buy it? I thought I would be selling it. Test 422, still delicious, and I bet it does better than that. Is necessary to sell 425. Yeah, let's do it. Even though I bought them higher, no one wants to buy way up here and then sell way down here, but we're taking this whale strategy of by taking 3,000 Bitcoin, selling them, letting the price drop a little bit, and getting 3,521 Bitcoin. I'm hoping this buy the dip machine will just keep, hitting around back and forth, grabbing up these pips, grabbing up these dots. I think that about covers things. Let's go over where we're at. HPB, I've reset a lot of these. They have just been grabbing up gains. My Baxter ETH, I've not had to touch it. Look at, I've got 1 month running, 4.4% average a day. Nice. KLV, that's one of the ones that throughout history I bought it as it went low. I bought it and bought it and bought it, and it looked terrible. It was brutal. Everyone that else was in the trade had totally just gotten out because it had been disgusting for so long. And I had started up here and made a bunch of trades, made some good money in this, but I started the bot somewhere about right there. And it just went, and it just went. And as it went down, I just keep reconfiguring. I'm a long-time believer in this project. Reconfiguring. And by the time I got down here, my pile of KLV was so big, and it just kept drifting. And it traded in here for a long time. I used the S-Bot, and then now, it ripped only to here, and I'm way in profit. thousands in profit already because I had gathered so much KOV, because I kept letting, as it went down, I gathered more, I gathered more, I gathered more. And that's what I'm doing now. Is I could easily grab some profit now, but I think I want to wait till we get back in this range. And everything is profit. No matter what this thing does, goes up, goes down, does sideways, it's all profit from here. And when you get into that place, with some of these bots, it's pretty nice. And I can turn off that bot when I want and turn it back on, and it's still always just profit for me. So not too bad. And you know, there's a lot of different ways to make good profit here. One of the people in the group just told me, he's like, you know, he ran a bunch of crazy ETH bots and then used that ETH to buy DOT on the dip, and stacking up some good money there. So anyway, hope that answered a bunch of questions. Hope that makes you guys feel a little better. I had a whole bunch of complications making this video. My fan overheat. I meant to make it yesterday, and then I had a bunch of musicians stop by, and it's just been a fantastic week. Hope you guys are doing good, and get outside, get some sun, all that. Turn off the mainstream media, ain't doing nothing but lying to you. I appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. I'm out.